to session the Ojai Arts Commission regular meeting here, November 16th. Carl, would you roll call us, please?
Commissioner Freeman?
Here.
Commissioner Chisholm? Note his absence. Commissioner Steiner?
Here.
Commissioner Grau?
Here.
And Chair West.
Here. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to welcome the audience. This is my favorite meeting of the year, and I think I speak for all the commissioners when I do say this. Do we have any public comments for items not on the agenda? No. Liaison.
This time, let me check.
Yeah, the box is empty. They're all here. So.
Can I introduce Cassandra?
Yes, one moment. We have no minutes. Well, that'll be later. Okay. So, yes, I recognize Commissioner Steiner.
Thank you. So now what we regularly do at each meeting is have an arts organization in the city present for 15, 20 minutes or so what you do, how you contribute to the community, so we both know and also the community has a sense. We're encouraging engagement back and forth, and we welcome all of you organizations to come talk to us. Let me know if any of you would like to do so, separate and apart from your grants presentation, which you will be doing this evening. So this evening we welcome the Art in Nature residency at Taft Gardens, and thank you very much. We have Cassandra Jones and Jade Whitman, who have this marvelous artist residency program about which they will present. Thank you.
Do I address you or the? Okay, I will address you. First of all, thank you for having us. My name's Cassandra Jones. Jade Whitman's here. I'm the arts chair at Taft Gardens, and Jade is the CEO. And we met years ago in a writing class, and maybe we can bring up my presentation. You can put up the first slide. I also want to thank all the Taft supporters who came tonight. Cheer us on. Okay. Okay, yeah, so I'm actually gonna run through the slides pretty quickly because we only have 20 minutes, and this is such a robust program that I'm presenting that I may speak quickly. So if you have any questions afterwards, Jade can help answer, and you can ask me. And if anyone else has any questions afterwards, you can always reach out. I can talk your ear off about this program.
Are you working on it, Carl, or is it Jade? Yeah, I am.
Okay, I'll just start. I was first introduced to Taft Gardens in around 2013. My husband is a touring musician, and he had a side project that he was looking for a location to do a music video. And so somebody told him about it, and he called a random number, and somebody who I don't know led us up. And I was walking around the grounds going, what is this place? Is this someone's yard? And there it is. Okay, so beautiful, lush, amazing place. If you haven't been, you should all come. The gardens itself has a South African garden, an Australian garden, and now a California native garden. And so, next slide. Great. So I was walking around and I picked up this Banksia seed, And I didn't know it was a banksia seed. I just thought it was a weird alien-like thing, and I thought it was covered in what looked like Muppet mouths, and I thought it was funny. And I made a wish on it that I would get to do a project at Taft someday. And so fast forward to 2020, and the pandemic hits, and a few months in, I am in my house doom scrolling and freaking out because my kids are home and my husband is not touring, and I have no place to go, and I'm not even supposed to leave the house to go to my studio, and I can't leave because I'm taking care of the kids. And I really needed a place and something to do, a place to go and something to do. So I wrote a very unsolicited proposal to create an artist residency program where I would be the first artist. And my pitch was that I have this project I want to do that involves plants. And I don't know anything about plants. So please let me come up to your garden so I can study your plants. And it's a good, safe place. I can be with, not around people. And if you let me do this, I will teach you how to have an artist residency. And they thought it was a grand idea. So next slide. So I became the first artist in residence. And at the time, I was really only asking for time. I just wanted to get to go to the gardens free of charge because I couldn't afford the $20 a day to go. But they said, well, actually, we have a studio we could renovate for you. So this is the studio. This is the historic art studio that they renovated. And I became their first artist in residence, and I was there for 7 months. Next slide. And this was the inside of my studio. And every day I would go out into the garden and I would study the plants and I would come back and I would recreate them. And the project that I was doing was, and I would recreate, I'm a digital artist, and the project that I was working on was that I was watching the plastic production rise because of COVID, and it was freaking me out. And I wanted to talk about how we've made so much plastic in the world that the natural world is now quite literally absorbing the human world on a subatomic level. So I was making these really beautiful botanicals out of very shiny, cool plastic things that we never see as sinister. Next slide. So I mounted an exhibition at the end of my residency. Next slide. Next slide. Oh, it's loading probably. Anyway, I do a lot of wallpaper, and the next slide is a picture of one of my wallpaper installations. There it is. It's a recreation of a leucospermum plant that was growing in the garden at the time, and that wallpaper, that image is made out of Mardi Gras beads and slinkies. And next slide. And then we had a big giant party, and it was right when Biden said, we think the pandemic is over, and everyone came out. It was like a big coming out party, and we invited 100 people to a free opening in the morning and 100 people to a paid fundraiser in the evening, and and it sold out in 3 days, and we raised a bunch of money, and that's when the residency was born. Next slide. And so I was presented with this really fun and amazing opportunity. Oh, and we got tons of press. So 5 different magazines covered it. Next slide. I got on the cover of one, that's me, on the cover of 805 magazine. Even the LA Times covered it. Next slide. And so I was presented with this wonderful and unique opportunity as an artist to be the architect of an artist residency program where I got to design it based on what an artist actually wants. So often arts advocates create artist residencies, and they design it based on their needs, but I designed this based on what I thought artists really needed. So the structure of it is to promote Taft Gardens' mission, which is to preserve and protect nature and wildlife, to offer an equal opportunity, so everyone, and I mean everyone in any creative discipline, old, young, whatever, rate, any sexual, and whatever, everyone is invited to apply. So to support environmental and experimental art being made locally, which is a very timely endeavor, to provide an easy and free application. There are no images required. All we ask is your Instagram page or your website. So often I was asked to spend weeks and months trying to figure out someone's requirements to format imagery, and it was really pissing me off. And then it even, we've updated it this year where it even kind of walks you through making an artist statement. So I wanted to encourage repeat applicants. I tell every single artist who will listen that if you don't get the residency, please apply again. And if you still don't get the residency, reach out. I will help you, and I will help you figure out how to get it. Every year, there's more people that are qualified than we can take. And so, for instance, this year, our 2 9-month artists, one had applied 3 times, and the other had applied twice. But we would love to get through to everyone. I know there's a lot of hidden amazingness hidden up in the hills, and I'd love to eke them all out.
Kind of like the MacArthur, isn't it?
Yeah. So then to create a Central Coast community and network, we don't just offer the opportunity to Ojai artists, we also offer it to anyone in the Ventura or Santa Barbara County, and that is by design, that artists cannot make art in a bubble. We need to network and we need to know each other, and we need to communicate with other communities, and LA has enough opportunities. We need to band together, and if we all know each other, it will naturally lift us all up. Then to provide art and nature education, that's our walks and talks. So I give an art and nature walk once a month, which is one of my favorite things in the world to do. And then we encourage all the artists to give, to have open studios and to tour people through their work. And when they, at the end, when we throw our big fundraiser, I give a speech about all of them. And I really love the artists and want to educate everyone about what they're doing. And then to make the artists and the art accessible, again, we provide a platform for the artists to really connect with the community. And then to document history in the making, we have an on-staff photographer who comes and photographs everything they do. I often write about them. I make a speech about them. We've got great relationships with press, and every season we get at least 1 or 2 articles. And then to Skillshare, I have been an artist for over 25 years. I've had over 200 shows. I have written so many artist statements. I can do it in my sleep. I can help you with resumes, artist statements, wall labels, how to mount shows, how to get your work out there, how to get press, all this stuff. And if I don't know how to do it, I know who does. So I'm really there to support the artists in that way. Next slide. So the next year after me, we took 2 artists, Stephanie Washburn and Jane Moldfinger. Stephanie is an Ojai artist. Jane was her professor at UCSB, and this was the first time they had gotten to make art in tandem and really inspire each other. Jane was Stephanie's mentor. Next slide. And that's Jane working in the same studio that I worked in. Next slide. And this is Stephanie Washburn hanging one of her pieces in the trees for the exhibition. Her exhibition, which was the fundraiser. And this is a drawing made of the clouds above Taft Gardens, and she sliced the drawing so delicately that that it just barely held the paper together, and the light and wind would come through the paper. Next slide. And she made a video about it, which was in the gallery. Next slide. And then another local artist who was not in the residency program, Rebecca Comerford, wrote an opera about it and performed it at our fundraiser. Next slide. This is Sally England. She after that first year, where we just had 2 artists in the big space for 9 months, we decided that because we got lots of feedback that there were some artists that just couldn't do 9 months. So we renovated another space and made a 1-month artist residency. So we had the 9-month and now the 1 month. And then another artist came to us and said she wanted a research residency, which we'll get to. So this is Sally England, and she came to us for the 1-month residency, and she was super inspired by these trees called grass trees. Next slide. And this was the installation she made, and it was such a showstopper. And it was lovely because we gave her the opportunity to have her own exhibition. She got to show it twice, and we said she could bring her group, and then we brought in some collectors and curators to come and see the work. Next slide. This is Richard Amend. He was also one of our 1-month artists, and he made these beautiful drawings and Polaroids in the garden, and he had a model come and he photographed her. Next slide. And this is what he's standing in front of is our 1-month studio called the Portilla Studio, and this was some of his work. Next slide. This is Shelley Bergen, who is a harpist and conceptual artist, and she played harp in the garden. Next slide. She played harp up on the mesa. Next slide. She also did this amazing installation in one of the old abandoned bird cages that we have, the raptor cages that we have up at Taft, where she had these diodes and sound and a sound element where you would go in at night and it would have healing tones. And next slide. And we had small groups up to see it because we don't normally allow people in the garden at night for safety purposes, but we had some supervised gatherings where people could come and be in this space. And that's Chris Noxon, who's another artist here in town experiencing that work. Next slide. This is P. Lynn Middleton, who is also an Ojai artist, but I think she just moved out of Ojai. But anyway, she was an art artist at the time. She spent her time creating rocks, hollow rocks that talked about, like, it's one of the oldest art forms, ceramics, and nature. Next slide. And she really, you can see the bee buzzing by her. She really communed with the garden. Next slide. And this is some of her rocks that she made. Okay, next slide. This is Rosemary Hall, who was our research artist who came to us, and she was like, I don't need a 1-month art residency and I don't need a 9-month residency, but can I just come to the garden and research? And so she was researching pollinator gardens, and that was last year. This was taken last year. We extended her residency for a full 9 months this year. It's the next slide. And this is some of the ways that she's interacting with the insects that are in the garden. Next slide. This is Natasha Wheat. She was our 9-month artist last year, and she spent her time at Taft mostly in the burn pile, where she was really researching a concept about heterotopias, which are spaces that are adjacent to a utopia. So if you have, it's the burn pile to the garden, it's the messy backstage to the play, it's the gel that keeps the streets clean. And so she spent her entire 9 months working with this one concept and mounted a show, which is the next slide. This was her show. And she did performances. She made instruments out of elements from the garden. She had other musicians coming in. She gave lectures. She gave walks. She was really involved. Next slide. This is her speaking with a group in doing a studio visit after the show was mounted. Next slide. And this is Shauna Moulton. She's not an Ojai artist. She's a UCSB professor. She lives in Goleta. She's an old dear friend. We went to grad school together. And she was our invitational artist last year. And what is so cool about this is her character, Cynthia. She's actually a pretty famous performance artist. And what she made at Taft will be next seen at the New York MoMA. So next slide. And we got a taste of her performance. This is our fundraiser event where we have we do the exhibition, a dinner, and then performances, and that's Shelley performing for the crowd. And the next slide, you'll see that we got to get a taste of her performance with this insane, incredible background. And the next time she will perform it will be 7 nights at the New York MoMA in February. Next slide. And this is her. This is the announcement for that, which is very exciting. So Ojai will be in New York. Okay, next slide. And then so our next invitational artist is somebody who you've supported before. This is Vanessa Wallace-Gonzalez, and she is a Ventura artist who just got into Hunter, so she's coming back to do her residency. She got in after we had already invited her to be in it, and she works with the plants that we grow at Taft. Next slide. And where you have supported her before was she was part of the jail project. And she was really a standout on that show, and it was at this show that I decided she should be our invitational artist. Next slide. This is Scott Hirsch. He is our first 1-month artist this year. He's a musician, and this is just a fun photo with him and his fun guitar. Next slide. But he is recording sounds in the garden and rescoring a movie from the 1960s that's sort of a sci-fi. It's sort of an art school darling. It's one of the first movies you learn about in art school. It's called La Jetée, and it's all done with black and white still images, and it's about time travel, and it's got subtitles and a narrator, and he's recreating it. Next slide. Which you can see here, and he will perform for this year's fundraiser, and we're talking about him doing an installation in one of the bird cages. And he's local to Ojai. This is Madeline Ignon. She is one of our 9-month artists. She had applied twice before she got the residency, and she's working in tandem with Stephanie Dotson, who's a Santa Barbara artist. And Madeline grew up in Ojai. She went to Thatcher. Her parents and her relatives are still in town, and she's here all the time. Okay, next slide. And this is Amun Levy, who is also one of our 1-month artists who will be starting in the new year. And he's a digital artist that's going to do some very interesting projections in the garden. Next slide. And then this leads me to our the people who we've also applied for a grant for this round, and to help support the people who have supported this project in its sort of inception and execution. And these are two people who have supported. Michael Jorgensen is my husband. He's played at some of our events, and he's in the background. He's supporting everything I do, so I can support the garden. And Louise Sandhouse, who is our designer, and she has been volunteering her time to do some amazing stuff for us. And she's way more expensive than we could ever afford. She's a really big deal top designer, and you can see her work in the next slide. And so she designs all of our announcements that go out for the open calls, and this is one that went out for in Loom magazine. And the next slide. And she helps us with our Instagram and all of our messaging so that it's on brand, and introducing all the artists. Next slide. And this is Julia Weissman, who runs Vortex Magazine, who is also a big supporter and part of our team, who does a lot of our designing of events. And so many things. She's helped us design maps. She's helped us invites, all kinds of stuff. So next slide. She designed my invite for the Art and Nature Walk that I do once a month, which is very fun. And if anyone wants to come, please sign up. And if you can't afford a ticket, I'll treat you. Just get in touch. I have an open invitation to all artists who can't afford the price of admission for that tour, that they can come for free. And what I do is I walk people through the garden, which is a passion for me. And I tell stories about the art that's been made there. I tell stories about the plants that grow there. I do funny things like put flowers in aloe to make faces. Next slide. And I get the kids to take the little yellow poof balls and put them on the aloe tips, and then they're putty in my hands. They show up and they're like, "What are we doing here?" And then I do this, and they're like, "Anything you want, Cassandra." So this is next slide. This is one of the groups, one of the Montessori schools hired me to give, every year they hire me to give the kids a tour, and I take them through all the tours I take to meet the artists, and which is a huge perk, because that's our education, that's our curriculum at Taft, is the artists, and it is so important for me and for my audience to see their process and see how they do what they do and why they do what they do, and to see it becoming, not just, this is what I did, here's the final product, but I want them to see the becoming of it, because that's where the stories are. So next slide. And then I also have full adult tours where it's very tactile, and I get people to feel things and hold things and touch things, and I give them clippers to take clippings from the garden and take home, and bags to carry them in. Next slide. And this is John Taft, who is the founder of Taft Gardens, and he is a huge asset to the program because he drives around in a golf cart looking for all the people who've come to Taft to give them tours, and he brings them to meet the artist, which is an invaluable asset. Next slide. And this is Fanny Penny, who we hire to be our gallerist at the, I'm sure a lot of you know her. She's been a staple in Ojai for years. She grew up here. And so she was our gallerist this year for the fundraiser. Next slide. And last but not least, this is Mark Alt, who took all the photos you just saw. And without him, I wouldn't be able to continue to tell the stories of the artists, which is an invaluable part of this. So thank you for your support. We're so happy to be part of this community, and I'm doing everything I can to lift it up.
Cassandra. Stay for a minute, just for a second. Cassandra, just stay for a second. I just want to thank you for bringing your family and the Taft family and the Whitman family. You guys are so important to this community in so many ways, and thank you for sharing some of that today. Did any council commissioners have anything they wanted to address?
I just want to add how impressive it is, both in scope and depth, and to see these artists and their creativity is astonishing. I wonder, I wonder if the audience has any questions of Cassandra. You don't mind if we sort of hijack it, do you? Well, let me then, how many of you have had residencies at Taft or have been to the Art and Nature program? A number, oh, quite a number. Oh, my goodness. What an important community resource. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra. All right. So tonight is our community group presentations. I just, a couple little housekeeping things here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your interest in the arts. This is important, not just for your commissioner and your city council, but for your fellow artists to kind of hear and see and to get a little bit of Channel 10 attention on your things as well. Yes. Who? We're going to do a picture. Would you assemble it while I mention something?
And Jade. Let's include Jade, please.
We have our whole family. They won't fit in the picture. Who do you want?
The commission?
The whole commission? No, would it be easier to bring them here? Yeah, why don't you bring them? Is that okay? Yeah. Help us.
Yeah, what do you think? Does that arrangement work? It looks a little weird.
I think it looks a little weird.
Yeah, Cassandra and Jade, why don't you come
be in the
back?
middle.
Right. Why don't-
Lay on the table.
Hello, Nigel.
I think I can fit through that one. We're gonna try to come out, everybody? Everyone has an opinion. I do want that, and I don't want to be rude. Yeah. We'll have- Okay, let's come back here. I want to thank you all for doing these presentations. I do want to say that your grants will be evaluated. There's an error in the agenda. They're not selected tonight. We've never chosen the night that the presentations are. But in fairness, if there's some people unable to make the presentation, they're not a requirement of the application. But we love the presentations. But just please understand, if you do fantastic or do terrible, it doesn't affect the way that we look at your applications. So relax and have fun, because this is a lot of fun. We have a record number this year, a record level of applications. So we're really excited. We also, as part of it, we have a new plan, a new strategic plan that your Arts Commission has, that the City Council has budgeted for, and so we have a record number. It's not a real high number; it's 30,000 about that we are giving away, and we hope that just grows and grows and grows. And we just thank you for your participation. What I'm going to do is do like on deck. Do you guys have the order? You have the agendas? All right. I'm sorry, but I'll do it the way Betsy does it. We're calling order. So we're going to have Ojai Valley Artists Theater, and then up next after that will be the Library Friends Foundation, and then the Agora Foundation. So who is representing the Ovate? Is someone? Oh, great. We didn't get your, we, oh, hey, girls. We
Not just a
didn't,
surprise we were going first. We thought we were sitting around a table, like noshing and like talking to people. We had no idea.
get it over with.
So luckily, you know,
We are going to, liaison Carl is like a timer.
Okay.
oh no, seriously?
We just have to
Yeah,
do
it's right
that.
here.
It's like
right here.
D-test.
Oh, that's
I will-
right there.
I will help you.
So we're going to try
Susan
not,
always keeps me in track.
but please introduce yourself, because we weren't given your names on our list here, so thank you.
Okay, start.
I'm Susan Collegian. I'm the artistic director.
Jolene Ray Harrington, co-artistic director and other things.
Yes, and we're really good friends.
We are. Real quick, Ojai Valley Artist Theater Ensemble, known as Ovate, is an innovative theater company started after 2017, the Thomas Fire, and our collaboration in the Scottish play. I don't want to jinx this right off the bat. And where we realized we had a shared synergy, a shared background as actors, writers, directors, and educators with a love of history. And when we were stuck on Susan's couch during the pandemic trying to figure out what we're going to do, besides performing in masks in people's backyards, yes, we did that, we came up with the idea of mashing up two of our mothballed projects into one and bringing it into the new media realm, which really hasn't been done before, because we love to repurpose whatever we're doing with whatever we have available to us.
We upcycle.
We do. So Ojai, too. So we have a recording studio on hand, plus some other resources, a network of amazing actors, and we put together a scripted theater production for audio. So it's like what you'd hear on a podcast, any of those scripted. The emphasis is edutainment. We're targeting young people. We realize the demographic in there that is underserved in new media is kind of the junior high range. Yeah. And so we've taken the subject of women's independence, particularly the feminine contribution to American independence, with an emphasis on inclusivity for all categories of life, Native Americans, African Americans, et cetera, to really bring into highlight elements of the community that haven't been really addressed before in a very fun, organic, lively way. There's magic, there's two lively narrators, myself playing a history teacher, and Susan.
Playing Anthony Roxy.
She's the one with the magic crystal ball that takes us back in
I
time.
have crystal balls.
She does. And we have over 25 actors, some of who are in this room, not naming names. We have original music production and composition, an award-winning music producer who's been doing our soundscape. We've actually done so far 3 episodes of our Daughters of Liberty series with an emphasis on 16-year-old Sybil Luddington.
The female Paul Revere.
That is her nickname. The 4th episode, which is the one we're really seeking funding for because, you know, we ran out, is called Sybil's Ride. And this is kind of the cool part. She gets on horseback and she rides 40 miles through community.
40 seconds.
Anyway, so why this is great for Ojai? It brings Ojai's art legacy into the modern world. With a new form of art that a lot of us are just getting comfortable with, and it expands it beyond just a one-shot installation or production, because we're going to be aggressively marketing this project throughout the broadcast world and beyond through various modalities that you can read about in our proposal. Please do take time to look at the videos if you can.
And we're hiring a lot of young people in Ojai.
Yes, we're very multi-generational cast, and this ranges from 6 years old to 82.
Our tagline is transformational theater for the community. Not community theater that transforms, but transformational theater for that. Do we blow up?
That's it. Thank you for letting us come and
It's like
share our
improv.
ideas.
You have to
Excited.
do something. Thank you, ladies. Next up is the library, and then Agora, and then concerned resource and environmental workers will be after that. Is the library people here? Okay.
This is Commissioner Freeman. I have a quick question.
Yes, Valerie.
So has the agenda changed with discussion item number 6? Are we not going to do item B?
Correct. Well, yeah, you must
Okay.
have missed that earlier, yeah.
Okay. So
That's not
if we're
tonight.
If we're not going to do that, and you have a quorum, I'm going to sign off because I have tickets for an event tonight. And
What are you going to see, Valerie?
you, Valerie.
we're in the grandstand for the Formula One races in Las Vegas.
That's great.
So,
Thank you, Valerie. Have a beautiful evening. All right, so it
Thank
sounds
you.
like the library's not here. Agora, you got to pop right up here. Please introduce yourself. Then it will be Concerned Resource Environmental Workers, Green Valley, and then the chorus, community chorus.
Hello, commissioners and staff. I'm Andy Gilman, director of the Agora Foundation. I've been in your chair, and we're offering something a little different than what I think you're going to hear most of here tonight, and that is Agora provides great book seminars for adults who want to continue their education, and that's been going since 1998. Since COVID, we've been primarily online, so we do about 5 seminars a week at the moment. But you probably know us through our Ojai Chautauqua project, which is promoting civil discourse on complicated subjects. And what we've been doing a lot lately is interviewing city council people and nonprofit leaders. So just yesterday, we published an interview with Help of Ojai. So we try to be as community involved as we can. This art project has happened for the past couple of years, and we're calling this has happened with training teachers, which is the other thing we do. And it's the glory of art, but it's readings on art with also a visual component. So that would be notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci, for example. It could be Georgia O'Keeffe. You've got the list in front of you of the course that we're in the middle of right now. So this project will start next year in January at the Ojai Library. It'll be a 16-week project where we have our set of readings that everybody gets in advance, and also we'll have copies there. We will have some imagery there to go with the reading. And the idea is that it's a way of accessing work, and in this case, it'll be understanding sort of what are the theories that artists use, how do we think about art, and that would be the visual arts, architecture, music. And what attendees do is they get a lot of camaraderie, a lot of civil discourse, but they get to think about art in a way that these artists help them see where they're coming from in a deeper way. So that's part of our regular work, and we provide scholarships and have free events pretty regularly. This would be all free to the attendees, and we would promote it in all the usual ways through our websites, our email, but also through city council, going to chamber mixers and all that. But the library fills up pretty fast, so we think we'll probably have 2 cohorts. We're asking for your help with one of those. And we have other family foundations that would be paying for the others. But it's something that we do a ton of it. We've conducted over 1,000 seminars since 1998. We've taught most of these in the past, not all. But we think it's going to be an exciting collaboration with this commission for the first time. So do you have any questions about Agora or what we're proposing? No questions. So I do encourage you, if you do have any questions, look at the website. That shows exactly what we do. We audio record the events with the attendees' permission so that if somebody misses one, they can come back. But I think it's a fantastic way for Ojai to express its interest in all the arts, but also in this case, it's the literary arts, which I don't know how much this commission has done in the past. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Chair West, if I may, just for a moment.
You have a question? Yes.
Yeah, welcome back, Andy. No, it's just a comment, actually. You don't need to stand back, but welcome back. It's nice to see you back in these chambers again. I just make a general comment. Your last point, what has this commission done for literary arts in the past? There's a very easy answer to that: nothing. And it's something I've been battling for nearly 4 years now, since just after you left this commission. Unsuccessfully to the moment, but I still hold out hope. With regard to questions to everybody in the audience, we may not have any now, but we'll certainly be reviewing in detail all of the applications, and it's very typical, and I've been doing the grants now for 4 years, this commission, that we will reach out to every single one of you for clarifications and questions during that process. So don't be surprised or upset if we don't have any questions right now.
No worries.
We just appreciate you being here.
Thank
so,
you.
Andy, good to see you.
Yes, thanks.
Nigel? Was someone here from the crew? Oh, we do have crew. Okay, so it's crew and then chorus and then film society.
All
right. Hi, everybody. My name is Tara, and I am the program coordinator for the Green Valley Project. And this program is a new program of the crew. We've been around for about 3 years. And this would be supporting our communications internship. Last year, we put in a pollinator corridor throughout Ojai Valley. It is an interconnected network of 55 pollinator gardens throughout Ojai Valley. And we have 5 community pollinator gardens in this pollinator corridor. We wanted to create signage with our interns in 2024. So for this program, you would be helping to support our 3 program assistants for 3 different internships. You would be supporting our interns who are between the ages of 13 and 17 years old. And you would also be helping us to pay for our communication mentors as well. The community impact, sorry, I'm a little nervous. The community impact for this program would be mainly students and educators. We have 2 gardens at local schools. One is Topa Topa Elementary, and then the other school would be Nordhoff High School. Basically, it would be a great opportunity for students to learn about pollinators, native plants, and environmental conservation through engaging with our educational signage. It also would be amazing for the educators to be able to use the resources of this sign that we would be producing to supplement their curriculum. We also will be holding tours for the community. So we'll be bringing people into the gardens and teaching them about pollinators and why they're so important for our food systems, and why they're really important to be saving right now because their populations are declining right now. I don't know. Gosh, sorry guys. Our timeline is January to December. So you would be helping to support 3 internships. That would be about 10 students per internship. That's 30 students total. And it would also help us to put up at least 5 educational signs, hopefully 10. I'm hoping to do 2 per garden. And then we would be doing 1 tour of all of the different gardens led by students because this is a youth leadership program. And we would also be hosting an art exhibit at the end of the year, taking all of the signs, putting them together, and sharing that with the community as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Tara. It's easy.
Oh, I also have these for you, if any.
Oh, thank you. You give them to Carl, and then he'll. Thank you, Kara. Anything for Kara? All right. Next up is our chorus. Community chorus? Who's here? Nobody for the chorus? All right, we're going to do Film Society, and then the taiko, and then songbooks. Nope. Did I miss the Green Valley? Oh, yes. No, that was what you just heard. It's different than Green Cove. Yeah. No, of course. No.
Film Society.
Film Society, of course.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having us. I just wanted to start by saying that my wife and I moved here 7 years ago to be part of a community that has an emphasis on arts, and it's just very exciting to see that there's so many organizations that are applying for this grant because there's so much happening in this town. So it's just wonderful. My name is Nicholas Wiseman. I'm the vice president of the Ojai Film Society. Over the past 2 years, our volunteer board members took on the task of reimagining the Film Society, which has been a vibrant part of our community for 35 years, founded in 1988. The mission of the Film Society is to present quality, independent, foreign, documentary, and classic films to the Ojai Valley community, and ensuring that these screenings are accessible to all residents, regardless of their financial means. We worked together in the spring of 2022 to develop a plan to bring outdoor films to the Ojai community for free during the lovely summers under the stars. The city was generous enough to lend us Libby Bowl, and we were able to host our first 5 outdoor screenings with the support of donations and sponsorships, and the turnout and reception was incredible. We had 3,000 people in our first year. Earlier this year, we had the pleasure of presenting to you our 2023 series plan, and we're thrilled to say that this year's summer season was another great success. We had 6 screenings, and a incredible attendance of 4,000. With the help of the Ojai Arts Grant we received last year, we were able to bring 6 films, including Sundance First Run film, Going Varsity and Mariachi, which was our premiere film, with the directors in attendance. We had an indie classic, Beasts of the Southern Wild. We had Wildlife by National Geographic, Singing in the Rain, Blinded by the Light, and The Beloved Princess Bride, all on better equipment this year, which made a huge difference. We now have had over 7,000 attendees to these free screenings and are in the planning stages for our 2024 season. Additionally, we're looking to expand our programming with 3 more screenings this coming spring, which will allow us to expand into films that are geared toward the cinephile audience, more niche, more nuanced, and in tradition with the Sunday screenings that the Film Society were known for and are known for. The Ojai Arts Commission support is a critical part of our funding model for this coming year, allowing us to keep the summer film series vibrant and to allow us to continue our exploration of this spring series. So we thank you for your support, and we're available for any questions. I'm sorry, I just like to read.
Thank you, Nicholas. You guys have some?
And we appreciate the presentation you did last time you came. And by the way, the Film Society presented, maybe 6 months ago, in a format similar to what Cassandra and Jay did. So again, we urge other groups to consider coming and speaking in a longer format to us, and not just to us, but really to the community. So thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Okay, next up is Tycho. Is the Tycho representative here? He is. There he is.
All right. Thank you for having me. Good to see my friends. It's a little nerve-wracking to be on this side of the bar than, the bar we're used to. So thank you. Thank you, everyone, for having me. My name is Gavin Takase Sanchez. Everybody knows me as Gavino, and I am the artistic and creative director and founder of Ojai Taiko. Taiko is the Japanese for big drum, a blend of modern and traditional musical arts that's with roots back to 6th century. Taiko brings people together as it resonates with people of all ages, backgrounds, and walks of life. I, as a creative director, have 25 years of experience performing Taiko all over the country, and I've shared the joy of Taiko with the Ojai community since 2017 by teaching adult classes, performing at community events, and bringing Japanese Taiko artists to Ojai. Our diverse group is committed to fostering community, connection, and cultural education through Taiko. We love connecting with the community by performing at events such as Ojai Day, the Farmers Market, as well as the 4th of July Parade. Being drums, it's kind of hard to find a gig in this town because they're drums, so we can't just set up inside of Sam's Place or Pharaoh's and we'll be rattling bottles off of the wall. So outdoors is usually where you'll find us playing a show. As we all know, everyone's suffered setbacks during COVID, and we've had to rebuild and gain new purpose thanks to the support of the Ojai Recreation Department as well as Luis Gomez. Ojai is a unique community with a deep love of arts and culture, and we are grateful to have been embraced here by the city. We're now planning to expand our reach in Ojai community by teaching youth and senior citizen classes. Our project: we are applying for grant funds to build equipment and purchase materials to launch youth and senior. A little history on the building. I've been building these drums myself off my own bill, on my own dollar, and it's been quite the challenge, but very, very rewarding. The main part of our budget goes towards materials for completing 6 new drums, which I will build, as well as smaller drums, more suitable for children. First class is planned for 2024. We have teen workshops planned at Nordhoff Middle and High School in collaboration with the Ojai Valley Youth Foundation. We have plans for first youth classes at Valley Oak Charter, as well as the Gables, who have expressed interest in senior drumming workshops. And we're in need of a lot of materials for them as well. We teach not only musical arts, but cultural enrichment and community values. Children are exposed to the arts, language, and traditions of the culture will develop a deeper respect for cultures outside of their own. Youth arts education is tremendously beneficial to individual children and their families, and by extension, the larger community. So I have about 30 seconds left. There's so much more I can go on. I do have a timeline as well, but I just want to thank you all for having me here, for letting me a chance to present this, and thank you all to the rest of the community, and sorry for all the noise. One more thing, if anybody's interested, I did bring a smaller drum that's sizable for the kids. It's right out there if anybody would like to take it. Yes, absolutely.
Wow, that's small.
This is the small one. So I do build these myself, and I do make them out of stave meaning just making a circle and putting it on the lathe. I also make others out of recycled, reclaimed wine barrels as well. So
Peter, could you come closer to the podium so the audience can see?
oh yeah, sure.
No, the audience watching at home or on video. They have nothing else.
There I am.
There we go.
There we are.
You've been on camera.
And this is just the small one. So, the largest one we have is 36 inches. And
We should get one for Smitty.
thank you, everyone.
Actually, I got something to. I got
Hang on one
something
sec.
for
Gavino?
Gavino.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Gavino.
Hi.
あなたの奥さんは日本人でしょ？あなたの日本 what the hell do I want to say here?
You can tell me, please, in English.
So,
as well.
私は日本語話しますか？
はい。
So Gavino's talking about his wife's, asked him if his wife's Japanese. His wife is Japanese. He's been to Japan many, many times. In these days, one of the problems in the world is that people don't travel very much, and so cultures get bashing each other all over the head, as we're seeing currently. Gavino speaks Japanese, as you've just heard. Apparently, so do I, right, which might be a surprise to some people. And so when you're talking about learning other cultures, it's not just talking about banging drums and teaching people taiko drumming, which I lived in Japan for a long time, a decade or more. And it's really quite an experience if you've never seen it. If you do have the opportunity to go and see Gavino and his kids, then please take that opportunity. But he'll be talking and communicating the Japanese language to these people who sign up for his classes and learn how to do this too, which I think is absolutely invaluable. So regardless of grant status, thanks for doing what you're doing. It's very much appreciated.
Okay, we're going to have American Songbook, then International Dance Day, and then Ojai Dance Co-op. Michael.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Estwanek. I'm the founder of American Songbook today. And I started this back in New York City, where we took Broadway, jazz vocalists, cabaret singers around to schools, everything from kindergartens in Harlem to Juilliard. My friends who taught at Juilliard said, we picked 16 students out of 1,000. Very few of them ever have heard of Rodgers and Hammerstein or Gershwin or Cole Porter. And so there's a lot of need for this. Our mission is to celebrate the American Songbook, to preserve this musical treasury, and to foster it for future generations through concerts and educational workshops. We're going to be doing a songwriting workshop with Amanda McBroom this year, one of our local wonderful residents. And we feel that, where did I write this? Yeah, we believe the American Songbook is part of our youth's heritage, their birthright, like baseball. And yet, how many people know, even adults, about the history of our American Songbook? We are going to be presenting, well, we started here in Ojai 4 years ago. Smitty was our technician at the Women's Club for an evening of Oscar-winning songs. Thank you again. And so we are going to be doing this year, well, okay, in the past year, we started with a tribute to Irving Berlin, and then Cole Porter, then Rodgers and Hart, 2 tributes to Gershwin. we were going to be doing a tribute to Sondheim back in November, but our world and our country and our city was so in such anger and turmoil. Instead, we did Songs for Peace, and it felt good for everybody. And I like to tell people that, for me personally, a song can often be my best friend. You know, whether it's jubilation and a way to feel it, or whether it's love, or whether it is loneliness. There's songs about all of those and so many other things. So this year we are going to be starting off, well, we're doing our, our much postponed tribute to Kander Nebb, the people that wrote Cabaret in Chicago and New York. And it's going to be on Wednesday, December 13th at our new venue, which is going to be the Underground Exchange. We're excited about that. And we are then going to be doing in January, the end of January, on the heels of the film Maestro, which is going to be released about Leonard Bernstein, we're doing a tribute to Leonard Bernstein. Then we'll be doing, and you know, he wrote Candide, West Side Story. He wrote some of the music to Peter Pan, On the Town, wonderful town, great songs that you would all love. And then we'll be doing in March an evening of Oscar-winning songs, and we're talking to David at the Playhouse, perfect venue for something to do with film. And he's excited about it, and we are too. And then on Mother's Day weekend, we're doing tribute to women songwriters. And this goes back to Dorothy Fields, to Carolyn Lee. Oh, hello. It's just starting? Oh, okay. Anyway, so that's it. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, next up, I think is Isha. Is she here? Yeah. No, you're not. Isha's not here. You're not Isha.
Greetings, esteemed members of the City of Ojai Arts Commission. I'm Ishel Gladstone.
I'm Teresa Holloman.
And we're representing Dance Ojai. Our director, Isha Faraz, is unable to join us today because she's in India. She does, however, send her very best. Over the past 8 years, the dedicated dancers of Dance Ojai have poured their passion into the heart of our town, hosting hundreds of events and performances. Their devotion has not just graced the stages, but has vibrantly echoed through the streets of Ojai, leaving an indelible mark of joy, community, and spirit. We come before you carrying the voices and the very soul of Ojai that have been uplifted by the transformative power of dance.
You may have seen members of Dance Ojai performing pop-up flash mobs around town, or the various fair and festival performances, or marching down Ojai Avenue during the 4th of July parade. So at Ojai Day this last month, we assembled a dance lineup of various dance styles from all over the world at Libby Bowl, with a ton of positive feedback from the community. We'd like to elevate that production to a professional standard by proposing a vibrant celebration of International Dance Day in April, also at Libby Bowl. The Dance Ojai International Dance production will showcase a tapestry of multicultural performances featuring professional dances such as Tahitian to flamenco, Bollywood to Irish dance, and many, many more. The dancers will be professional companies all the way from Los Angeles to Santa Barbara, including Oxnard, Camarillo, and of course, many from Ojai. With the Ojai Art Commission's grant support, we can ensure this event is a landmark of cultural celebration, meticulously curated, and produced to the highest standards of artistic expression.
We envision this event as an annual Ojai tradition, enhancing our town's cultural richness, supporting local artists, and attracting audiences from across Southern California to appreciate the diverse world of dance.
We did send in a detailed budget with our application covering costs for sound and lighting, a temporary dance floor installation to protect the dancers, administrative expenses, marketing, and artist honorariums. The Ojai Art Commission's grant funds that we've requested would cover a little bit less than half of that and would primarily support the production services and the artist honorariums.
We would like to begin production planning mid-December. By the end of January, we would have confirmation of dance companies and vendors. February's focus would be on sponsorship outreach, volunteer coordination, and material design. In March, ticket sales and extensive promotion would begin. The month leading to the event would be final preparations and final rehearsals. Our event date is April 20th with a final rehearsal on the 19th. And
Please finish your.
Okay, I was just gonna say, we do realize the application says the 27th, and we were later informed that there's a huge tennis tournament that week, so it wouldn't work, so we revised that. Just wanted to let you know. But we thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ishel.
so much.
Teresa?
No questions?
All right. We put the dancers together. Have the Ojai Dance Co-op, and then Gianna will write performance workshop, as if everything was perfect, and then art in nature program. Oh, they're not presenting. And then Ojai Day of Peace. So is someone here for the dance co-op? Oh, then I'm going to move on to the, is it Gianna, are you here? I'm sorry.
Forgive me, Smitty.
Yes.
If I'm here in support of the Ojai dance, so just let me know when that might be a good time. I was told not to fill out a comment card and that I would just have an opportunity to.
The Ojai Dance Co-op.
No, actually,
Dance Ojai.
Oh, Dance Ojai.
For International Dance Day.
I don't know, is that your Sharmila?
I'm actually Polly.
Oh, you're Pauline. Oh, hi, Pauline. Yeah.
I had asked if I needed to fill out a card and they had said no, so I apologize if I'm not working in the system, but I just would love to speak on behalf.
But are you a part of the International Dance Day
Yes.
group?
Yes.
So they already spoke.
Okay, so I guess I should have filled out a public comment.
I would suggest the chair take general comments at the end. I had understood that you were with the group when you asked me the question, so I'm sorry I misunderstood that.
Okay, yes, I understand now.
Oh, it's Pauline, and then what is this that I just got from Sharmila? Do you know?
So general comments on any of the groups.
Okay, what do you think we should do it at the end?
Associated with the groups, I just take them
So
at the
you
end.
you
Take
can
them at
speak
the end.
at the end then.
So if anyone wants to say something in favor or in favor of anything, I suggest filling out a speaker card, putting it in the box, and we'll get to them, okay? That's, sounds like a bureaucratic thing that I can do. So was anyone here for performance workshop for If Everything Was Perfect? Taft is gone. So we'll do International Day of Peace, and then the Studio Artist Tour, and then Palm Trees and Pigeons. Who do we have?
Hello, council and friends, and lots of friends back here, and wow, so much creativity in one place. I think we should do something all together. I didn't really prepare anything. I wanted to make sure I was here if there were any immediate questions to be answered. As you may know, the city of Ojai declared ourselves an International City of Peace in 2014. So since then, we've been doing a UN International Day of Peace event here in Ojai. We've never gotten funding from the city for the Day of Peace we do, or any of the other activities that we've done. There's peace poles that we've helped kids create that are in pretty much every school, if not one, multiples. We've done walks for peace. We did a Peace City event, which was a history of peace throughout the country, starting back in the 1700s. We did a peace film series and different panels. We did a Drums for Peace a few times. After the Thomas Fire, we held grieving circles so people could come and connect and share. So we've done a lot throughout the 10 years. pretty much on a shoestring budget. A couple years, we got sponsors from local businesses for the Day of Peace. It's mostly volunteer that we've been doing. Last year, we were going to do the Libby Bowl. We got a Libby Bowl waiver. Instead of doing that, we collaborated with the Thursday Farmers Market. So Day of Peace was at the Thursday's Farmers Market. And so we gave our waiver to Von Montgomery and Greater Goods, who did, we helped sponsor his big fundraising event for Greater Goods at Libby Bowl. So some of you may have been at that. This year, we also asked for a Libby Bowl waiver, and we want to do a much larger Day of Peace event at Libby Bowl on Saturday, the 21st, which is the normal UN date of it. Us in the core group, we never take any remuneration for it. In the past we have, in the last few years we haven't. What we really want to use the funding for is to support the artists and the musicians and the production and the sound people, so we're not asking all these people to play for free. I certainly know what that's about as a composer, musician, and being asked all the time to do things for free. So really the funds are to support everyone else in the community. Ojai Daiko's played for us. We've had the Isha and the dancers dance in Libby Park for Day of Peace. I mean, quite a few people here have volunteered their time. So we just want to up-level it to help support them and also up-level the city, the International City of Peace. And we plan to have some exciting keynote speakers and maybe some other musicians coming in as well for it.
Thank you, Ray. Peace. Is council liaison with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you are there. Oh, good. Oh, I just was curious. Because I don't know if you heard Rachel said during the meeting toward the end that she's like personally jumping in with both feet on peace. So I thought I didn't see you back. I thought maybe you were on the TV or something. All right. All right, so studio artists, then Palm Trees and Pigeons, then Earth and Arts, Tierra-Sol. So artists, yes.
Hi, I'm Martha Moran, and I'm a past president of Ojai Studio Artists, and I want to tell you how grateful we are that you gave us funding last year to keep our studio tour free. Before COVID, we had collected funds for scholarships with the money we made from the tour, and now we have such a terrific reaction to our free tours. And it's not just the 3-day tours in the fall, but we now do 7 second Saturday tours where we have over 70 artists, so we divide it the second Saturday of every month from February to August. We do a neighborhood, and it's really great for our whole community that both our artists and the people around town get to come and see the work, and it's not this huge thing, but it's, a little thing. But in terms of losing that scholarship funding, we're transitioning into a mentorship program, and Carol Shaw Sutton and Susan Amend, who have been in charge of our scholarship program, are doing a thing with Kate Thomas at Nordhoff to do mentorships, 8-week mentorships next summer with kids, working with specific one-on-one with kids and help them get into college, help them work with their how to put a resume together and all that stuff. So that's we're transitioning into that because we don't really have the funding for it. So your money that you gave us last year, it's really helpful for us to help the fact that we don't have that scholarship funding coming in anymore, and just being able to have the free tours, which not only they bring a lot of people in from LA, all over the Southern California, but they also, Chamber helped us out this last fall and with the fall tour, and they were really happy with how much business there was on the weekend, and in all 8 of the tours, each of those days that we're on tour, there's a lot of money coming into downtown and stuff. So it is good for the community, as well as being enriching. And I have to say, all of these projects just seem fabulous, so I wish you guys had, $100,000 and could fund us all. Thank you.
Tell your council person. Thank you, Martha. All right. Is Bernie here? Bernie Larson? Yes. Oh, great. And then will be Earth and Arts, Tirasol, and then Cara, which I assume is Performance to Grow On. Nice.
I am not a public speaker. I want you to know that right now. How you doing? How you guys doing? It's really amazing to be here and watch this go down. I got to tell you, it's been like incredible. Cassidy kind of dug this up, and I was in the process of kind of getting this film going. I've written a screenplay over the last 15 years or so, and my thrill is kind of like making something come out of nothing, and so I sort of like I started doing live broadcasts with shows at the Underground for the last 4 years or so, and it's been kind of like cracking the code a little bit at a time. Then I've been doing this Neil Young tribute record for his Bridge series. I've been filming the recording of it, and so I've been editing and doing things like that. It's been getting better, and it's just kind of directed me to this doing the film. The thing that inspired me for it was that I was reading The Artist's Way, and it said, if you want to have a growth experience, do something that scares the shit out of you. And that would be something. So it's turning into a community-based kind of thing. I mean, I've got some great friends that have kind of like offered up to help me, people in the business. James Morrison, who's an actor who was the co-star of 24, is going to be the featured lead in it. Probably most of the cast is going to be Ojai people. Most of it will be shot here. The amount of money that this is would kind of like just allow me to maybe take most of a month or a month and a half to kind of like devote all of my attention and energy to it, because we do the Underground Exchange, and Cassidy is busy with the dance thing, and she's the assistant director of Oak Grove's big production. So things are like going. So a lot of people have just kind of turned up, and I didn't really. This should be Cassidy talking, not me, but she had to work tonight, so here I am. The timeline is kind of like January to June, and I'm going to do everything like I've done a lot of things. I've scored 2 feature films, like real feature films, and so I do that, and I have a studio. My editing thing, I've been getting a fair bit of paid work editing, so I'm kind of like the one-man army, but luckily, I will say, Levi Holloman, one of the fine people you meet up here, has offered to kind of like support in any way he can, and he had the film Godsend that won the Bill Pullman Award at the festival a few years ago, so he has valuable insight and support for me, along with a few other people. Yeah, that's really about it. I'm not a great speaker, like I said. I'm going to go out in the car and cry. If you guys leave, I'm going to be there. Anybody have a tissue? So that's really about the whole thing, It's not a lot. But I mean, we do most of the things not trying to get money off of other people for it, although we did an Indiegogo thing, and we made a little bit of money from that. And so that's going to help kind of like just really have some time, free enough time to do everything that it takes to put that together. I appreciate you listening to me.
Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you, guys.
He's watching that light. He's thinking, turn red.
For somebody who spends their entire life in front of a microphone performing for thousands and thousands of people, I've got to tell you, it's kind of lovely to see you struggle, because I wouldn't be able to do what you do, Bernie. You're absolutely magnificent, so thank you for everything you do for this town on music level.
All right, Tirasol. I saw Tirasol, man. Soul Man. And then Cara, and then Beatrice Wood.
Hello, Smitty, Christine, and Pamela. Nice to see you, and nice to meet you, Nigel. I'm Christopher Wallen, founder of Tirasol, and this is...
Hi,
I'm Vera Rodriguez. I am, am an artist and was a recent participant in our last Earthen Arts gathering, and I co-wrote the grant proposal.
That's right. So we're here tonight. First and foremost, just to give you a little background on Tierra Sol, we were founded in 2018. We are an arts and climate incubator, and we are we curate and inspire research and community engagement and revisioning around climate and creative activism. We feel that science and data has run its course in the movement, and we need to incorporate more artists in the spreading of hope and imagination. So with that, we have partnered with the city, we've partnered with the school district, and various nonprofits such as Greater Goods and Meditation Mount and the Ojai Retreat. We do these solar-powered immersions, as we refer to them, where we kind of trick them. We engage a really cool artist, somebody that really draws a crowd, and not just a small little Ojai crowd, but a big, large, Southern California or even outside of California. And then they get there and they realize that they're at a climate event. That's the trick. And we leverage art, and artists love it, and that is the path forward. And so what we have engaged with this actually weekend, there's a couple cobbers here in the audience that just went into our retreat last weekend. The goals of our, it's called the Earthen Arts residency that we are wanting to promote, is to educate and activate the Ojai community about the wonder and the power of Earth's soil, expand and strengthen the Ojai creative community, and inspire climate artists and creative activists towards climate change and social change. We want to really kind of captivate folks about the power of getting dirt in your hands. There's something that's magical about cob. Cob is the new medium of artists going forward, and it's something that is universally equitable, creative, and wonder and plentiful, as we see. But I don't want to take up our time. Vera, please talk.
Hi. So, to give you a picture, our proposal is really to create opportunities to come together in the form of performance, and that can look like many things. So I speak as a performance artist, mainly a dancer, and I use dance as a way of gathering people together to really recognize body as earth, which is a very, very old ritual. But in the same way, coming together to work with the soil to create things out of that. It's all, yes, yes. It's all bound by this idea that we are Earth and the Earth is us, and creating these opportunities, creating actual structures, stages out of cob to then come together and think about art, think about the land of Ojai itself, and create art that's in conversation with this land, and think about each other as part of that. Let's create community and create change. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara and Christoph. Thank you. Please, you have something to say?
Yeah, I'm just so moved by all the creative organizations who are here tonight. And at this time, watching city council meetings and all the things that are going on in our city, I look at tonight and I'm so encouraged and hopeful for all that we're doing on a creative level to make this a fabulous community, which I know we already are.
Thank you for saying that, Pamela. We feel, this is so silly. We're a Senate committee up here with these tables. You guys are our peers, and they just asked us and we volunteered to serve on a commission. One day you'll be here too. So, I hope you just realize that there's no power trip going on here.
And I wish we
all
had
love you guys.
tons more money to give away, because this is going to be really tough.
All right.
Speaking of money, lobby the city council, please. In fact, our liaison is here right now. Tell them how much more money we need to really put arts in this alleged arts city.
Ditto. Yeah, because you can solve a lot of problem with art, because arts bring people completely polar opposites, can bring them into the same room, and it's just amazing to watch it work. You guys all know this too. All right, Cara is next. No, yes. And then Beatrice Wood, if she's alive, and then, and then
Hi, I'm Kara Lakes. I'm the director of Performances to Grow On. Do I have to push something?
no, you can.
Okay.
There.
I'm just going to read because I'm kind of like Bernie. Since 1995, PTGO, Performances to Grow On, founded by Brian Bimmel, has brought educational performing arts programming to Ventura schools as often as possible for free and discounted prices. Our overview of our project is we would like to bring 6 to 8 residencies with 10 to 15 workshops to the Ojai schools for free. A residency is where an artist will come to the school and perform for the students, but then also do workshops for the students to teach them their craft. And it ranges from, in our circumstance, it ranges from storytelling to puppetry to acting and mime and singing and music. Some of the performers that we have coming this year that will be the artists in residence are Norman Foote, who does songwriting and choral singing workshops and concerts. Boxtails Theater is a bilingual theater troupe, and they perform Latin American traditional tales and with puppets and acting and music. And then Leland Faulkner, a Native American storyteller who uses mime, music, and puppetry also to tell Native American folk tales. The benefit of our program is that it will save Ojai Unified School District money, enabling them to keep arts programming in spite of their recent financial struggles. The performing arts and arts in general have been proven to increase social emotional well-being and academic success in children, both of which saw a serious decline in 2020 and have been slow to recover. Arts have also been shown to contribute to building a strong sense of community, giving children the desire to participate as active citizens later in life. The timeline would be January through December during the school year, so eliminating the summer. And our work for this program has already started. We've already got schools lined up and performers lined up who will be coming to do these residencies, one in January, one in February, and possibly one in March. And then another one in October of the following school year. So we're still working on securing housing for the performers and finalizing locations and performance and workshop schedules. As far as the budget, most of the money that we asked for will go directly to the artists to pay their fee, their artist fee, and the rest to contractors and locations. And if we, just one more thing, if we don't receive the full grant, then we will continue with the program and just have fewer free assemblies for the students. And did I say that we've been going for 28 years?
Thank you, Kara. Okay. Someone here is from the Beatrice Wood Center. I didn't see them. So we'll just, is River here? Okay. So we have actually completed that, and I think we were going to take just liaison Carl, or is this now time to do these? Michael, are you still here, Michael?
Yeah.
You spoke. You have something else to say, please?
No, I just thought, here is this community of people involved.
Do it at the mic, please. So it goes on record.
Yeah, Here's this community of people involved in the arts. I wish we had a way of getting each other's emails, because a lot of us see ways we could be overlapping and supporting each other. But I don't think that's possible unless you ask everybody if they would be willing to give their information.
Well, thank you. I will respond. As part of our five-year plan, we are doing an inventory through the museum. I don't know where it is right now, to try to create a central hub kind of technology where artists and art supporters and grant givers and grant writers can all connect. So that's one of our dream things on our plan. Thank you, Michael. Sharmila? What did they get? Did they get 1 minute or 2 minutes, or what did they get? 3. Oh, they get 3.
Three. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can speak that long. Okay. Hi, my name is Sharmila Mali. I live in Ojai. I work in Ojai as well. I've been dancing with Dance Ojai for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years now. And dancing has always been, it's always been a dream of mine to be a dancer, like over being an actor or anything else. That was my secret dream. And through the old dance studio, Hamsa, which Isha ran, that dream became realized. And dance, when I've been performing and I tell other people that, oh, we did this performance in town, just the faces that I see, as we dance with our costumes and whatnot. And when people come up to me and tell me like, oh my God, how do I get involved with this? Or wow, that was so great. It brings curiosity to people. It all obviously, like we said, like with, I think what Michael was saying, there's a big community and there's different dancers here. I've danced with Bernie's wife, taken a couple of her classes when she would sub in, but it just fosters curiosity and community, and having a bigger event to bring dancers in and showcase local talent. It's amazing that Nordhoff has a dance program. I grew up in Florida, and where I grew up, we didn't have such things as dance, which is astounding to me. I didn't even know that was a thing. We had theater and, band and whatnot, but not dance, unless I'm mistaken, which I could be, but probably not. So, yeah, I just advocate that. I mean, there's so many great, listening to everyone give their pitches here. I wish there was more money. But I'm speaking on Dance Ojai to consider this event that we'd like to make annual. The International Dance Day just could be such a big draw, with vendors and drawing other dancers and bringing their communities in and just showcasing, multiculturalism, community, and bringing more revenue into our little bucolic town of Ojai. So thank you.
Carmela. Anybody? Okay. Polly, you get your light.
Forgive me.
I've never seen you with so much clothes on. She's a belly dancer.
Thank you, Smitty. So good to see you. Oh, all right. So my name is Paulina Carey, and I am an Ojai resident of more than 20 years. And I'm a local dance instructor, teacher, and performer. And I've had the honor of working with many people in this room and cross-pollination. I mean, it's already happened. And I think you could have a dance residency at Taft Gardens. I've been dreaming about it. Yes. And so my dance sisters here, who I am in here full support, have already given you what we're looking for and what we're asking for you to support. And I thought, I only have 3 minutes. Oh, no, I only have 2 minutes and 25 seconds. And I'm like, what can I say in this little time that's really going to make an impact? And I dug into my heart and I thought, that's what it is. It's my heart. My heart is in everything that I'm standing for right now. I feel that my heart purpose is to bring and facilitate and create a container that brings community, that brings oneness, that brings healing, that brings joy. I'm a joy generator. I used to feel silly saying that, but you know what? I am not. That is my super cape. I'm wearing it. It's here. It's here. We create, Dance Ojai creates something very unique. It's not just about dance. It's about bringing people together in a very diverse container. Ethnicities, age. We have a lady, Saturday we did a flash mob to Staying Alive downtown, and a lady who is about to be 77 came out and rocked it. And we have mother and daughters that come to our class together. And as we were doing this flash mob, we ran into Steve Gutenberg, who I was like, ooh, this guy looks familiar. Ooh, who are you? I know you. And then he ran into us on the street after we did our little flash mob in Monte Grappa that just is always epic, and I'm so grateful for the open arms. And he gave us this testimony that was so heartfelt. I was like, record it, somebody, because I wanted you to hear it, because he got it, and he said it, everything that I've been trying to do, we have been trying to do and create in this community. We have such a beautiful community. I am in such gratitude for all of you and everything you bring. Taft Gardens, oh my gosh, my happy place. And so that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. I wanted to share with you how much bigger than dance this really is. And this little show is just a little bit of this tree that we have already been watering. Isha, thank you. She was around the world spreading her magic. She is the seed of what we've created. And I am in so much gratitude for her and the community of many years in this town. And I want it to be bigger. And those ripple effects of bringing joy, opening minds, breaking down boundaries, building bridges. Oh my gosh, I'm going to perform. This is scary. Oh my gosh, what have I done? I've grown. Huzzah. This is what I want to represent today. And I am so honored to be here in front of you. Namaste. Thank you.
Can I say something?
Okay, Andy, you got to beat that.
Well, could I say something first?
Oh, yes, please.
We have Rachel Lang is still here.
Yes.
So look at this meeting compared to our city council meeting.
Don't
And-
make trouble.
No. And I just want to say, this is the juicy part of Ojai. And we need to find more money to support it, because this is what we need more of. This is the solution. This is what we need more of. We need more community. We need the arts to be enriched and enhanced and supported. And we really need the city support on that. So, okay.
That's a great
Andy.
segue, actually. So one thing that I've been thinking about, and I'm almost done articulating it, it's something called the Ojai Cultural Contribution. And what that would be is, as the city is considering revenue generation, in some ways that could be another % on the TOT, let's say. We're already at the high end, you probably know that. Or a sales tax increase or something else. If you recall in the past, nonprofits used to go to the city with a proposal and the city would divvy those up. It's changed now, it's more like a contract-based piece, but the idea that I was thinking about is that if as a community we said, Ojai has been clear in the past to say, because of its small size, it can't generate all the services that other cities do. So they contract those with nonprofits. Help of Ojai is an easy example of that. If we said, we are going to raise the TOT by, let's say, 1%, something like that, that would be on the ballot, or the sales tax goes up 1%, again, that would be on the ballot, but that we set aside that dollar amount. I'm thinking of something roughly like $330K, let's say 1% added on to the TOT, that would all go towards Ojai's nonprofits. So this commission would get some of that. It could go to the city to distribute. But I think all the conversation that we talk about increasing revenue, if we knew a big chunk was going to these organizations or other nonprofits that aren't arts focused, I think it could be a nice PR campaign that the city could jump behind. So I'm working on that. I hope I can get us all thinking about that to say, here's the push that we would like to see next year, is that there's something like $250,000 that is going just directly to Ojai's nonprofits after next year. But we could do it. Thanks.
Thank you, Andy. We do have a % for the arts for our public art, and as part of our 5-year plan. Commissioner Steiner will be looking at the calculations that they use for that, because we are way at the low end of the way average communities mandate that, and we call ourselves an arts community. We should really. I'll be talking to you about that. Okay, that's the end of those public comments. Thank you all. I mean, I can't tell you how exciting this is for us. Your commission is part of our plan. We have make sure you're on the list, however Pamela gets it out there, but we've started these enrichment seminars for artists. This week, we're going to hear about one that we did this week later, that Commissioner Christine did on copyrights and contracts for artists. We did one earlier in the year on grant writing, and we plan to do 4 to 6 of these a year. We have several $1,000s, like $3,000 or $4,000 budgeted for that. All this money comes from the City Council, by the way. It's not our money; it's your money as taxpayers.
On that list now?
I don't.
No, but you know what? Thank you. I didn't even think about that, but yes, I will gather the information from the grant applications and make sure that your email addresses are on our announcement for those enrichment seminars.
A lot more people coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very excited, and our plan has multiple angles to try to become a hub for not for us to decide what's good or who deserves what, but just a way to come into the hub and go back out to reach other people in the community. So we're not doing questions now, Michael, but thank you. So I'm going to call to a close at this end of this and thank everybody. You're welcome to stay. We have some like Arts Commission business that we're going to do, but you know, some of it's kind of some of it you might find kind of interesting. All right, I'm going to move on. Do we have something else? Mm-hmm.
Do we need a break?
Nigel might.
Okay.
For 2 minutes.
Okay.
We're going to take a 2-minute break. Okay?
Say goodbye to people.
Recess. Thankfully, we had some straight men
That's why I was like, I don't know.
We're ways to get invited to a few things we did. Participate. Like we just had a mural.
Oh, no. It would be amazing to see those people that draw that.
Well, it was only for you, I apologize. You and I caught it.
Yeah. But yeah,
Approved it. that you can get involved in?
Oh, I would love to be more involved.
Do you live in the city?
I live right in the city. Yes, I am.
It's sort of silly, but,
Yeah, I don't think
I'm just curious.
I know. I came in a little bit late, and so there was. I'm Christine. Oh. I know you said he said it was good.
Well, that's besides art. Rachel, man, come up. Rachel wants to know what the talk was yesterday.
Oh my God.
Thank you again. Yeah, thank you. It was great. Wow.
People, and it was really
Well, it's
really
good.
good.
I am so sad. I was like in meetings for 13 hours. I was so sad.
Don't worry, you can have a tutorial if ever you have any questions about art.
And it was great to, this partnering with the museum, the museum became more vibrant and, I think this working together, this, not really the museum, but
I
we
know.
work together
Yes.
all these elements.
It's a great metaphor right there.
We'll get you a big amount. A drum.
Nice. That's my favorite day. Those same seats were full of angry people. That's why I'm glad you're standing.
That's the kind of stuff you want. You got it. You got it. No, I really wanted my
It's supposed to be this project in Italy, an amazing project, it's called Dark Harvest. It's general art.
But that would also address
Coffee and more chocolate and all this stuff, how it brought all this wealth to Europe and also brought slavery and all these other things. And I've been invited to participate next spring, so
At some point, we recognize that.
rocked my whole world, and like I really want to do it, and I'm really excited about it.
On the agenda is going to be this really having so including the marvelous Euro jury.
I am so excited because I really, well, and I really enjoyed fun things.
And I report that Sandra was our chair, Pamela was on it, it was just like, it was really.
No, I've been on the other side.
Anyway, I got.
I can tell, like, every time I have a jury, they're trying to find a good jury. I don't take it personally because I know. There's not a recording of it.
All in favor? Aye. It's unanimous. Vote is 1-0.
Here we are.
All right, recess is over, even though we've been recording the whole time. Item 6A. I'm just going to turn this over to, I think, Christine. Public Art Jury met this week.
Thank you all. So the Public Art Jury met this week to review and make a determination with regard to an application by Summer Camp to have a mural painted by artist Christopher Noxon. The group met. As you know, under the mural ordinance, there are 7 members of a jury. And I first want to start by thanking Arts Commissioner Pamela Grau, Planning Commissioner Jamie Bennett, artist Gary Lang, the 2 art professionals Cassandra Jones, who also served as foreperson of the jury, and Elizabeth Herring, community member Julie Grist, and the building owner representative Michael Graves, the owner of Summer Camp. The jury met, deliberated using the criteria in the statute, and made certain findings and recommendations. And without going through all the details, I'll simply tell you, and it is available by publication, I assume, in all of the material, that the jury recommended in full the approval of the application itself. And before us for this evening is the recommendation that we receive and confirm the findings and recommendations of the Public Art Mural Jury for the mural application at 1020 West Ojai Avenue and direct city staff to send a letter of approval to the applicant. You have the administrative report before you, and I don't know whether I or whether the chair calls for a,
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the findings of the mural jury as indicated on item 6A.
and therefore to approve the application.
I do have a question as to whether this goes back to planning, or does this go?
No, it doesn't. You-
This
you
is
said
just
that the other
straight on
night,
up.
that this is us.
Okay.
Under the statute, it's,
Okay,
so then we add that piece and approve.
so the motion is to accept item 6A and thank the,
I'll second that, just to check, see if there's any comments or observations from the public online or here. With the commission?
I wondered, not to put you on the spot, but would the
Discussion?
jury chair like to come up and sort of give just a quick overview of how that process worked?
Sure. We gathered with our jury, and we were presented with imagery of Chris's past work and the proposal for the new mural. The owner of the building told us about the old mural and why it was coming down, which is that it's in disrepair and it needs to come down. And he gave some, reasoning why he wanted to work with Chris. And we went through a list of criteria, and the mural met every single point on the criteria, and the jury was unanimous in accepting it.
Great. Thank you.
thank you for your service.
And thanks also to the city for setup. It happened at at summer camp, and it worked quite well. So thanks to Cassandra, thanks to Carl.
Yeah, we're in discussion here. Anything else?
No, I've seconded the motion.
Yes, we had the second. The only thing I wanted to say, I wanted to point out to our council liaison and just the public that this was done in a month, from selection of the jury to them able to convene, for them to be prepared to review the artwork. And so I made a point to Michael, the owner, that, I hope we are showing you our city bureaucracy at its best, and not at, so thank you, Christine, for pulling that together and for all the people involved. All going to call for a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous of the four. We will,
Perfect.
the record will reflect that Nigel did show up and Valerie did leave. Both out there, too. So 4-0 on that, too.
And Carl, just as a procedural matter, would you be able to notify Michael tomorrow so that they can get moving on this?
The motion in the staff report also said direct staff to send a letter to notify the applicant and the building owner of the approval.
Right.
I'll
But
be
could we
doing
make it even sooner so he can get started? I mean, I don't know how long a letter takes,
I can
whether
send him
you have
an-
to write it in
I
a
can send him
week
an
and then it
email,
goes in
but
the
the letter
mail.
will be
Oh,
coming,
beautiful.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I can move on to commissioner updates. Do you guys mind if I change the order? Just because I want PM to go first. Talk
Great.
about the beautiful thing that happened.
Okay, so yesterday, you can hear me. Yesterday, we had the third of our enrichment seminars at the Ojai Valley Museum. I want to thank Wendy Barker for giving us permission and giving us great support. Christine Steiner was our speaker. She spoke about contracts and copyright. We had more than 30 people attend, and it was a really good response. First of all, Christine did a terrific job. I mean, just epic. It was great. And everyone who came said that it was just so much better than they could have imagined. It was really insightful. They felt like they learned. It was perfect. I would say it was perfect. And I feel very encouraged that to continue doing this. We saw the community show up today, of all the creatives in town. And my desire, not only to keep creating these experiences, but also to bring the community together so they get to know each other better, and that we dialogue with one another and we find ways to create relationships with one another that builds our community. That's it.
Well,
And
no,
there's more
it's
coming.
not.
There's more coming. But
Okay.
I can't
But
give you a
may
date.
I interrupt just to make a presentation to Christine
Oh.
of this pencil with two erasers? It's a gavel for our judge and the council
Gosh,
and the commissioner.
Which one would you want?
The size
Beautiful.
matters. Are you kidding
That's
me?
beautiful. Thank you
Please
very
go on,
much.
Pamela. Please, you have
Oh, and I don't have the dates yet, but I do have people lined up, and we'll probably have our next one in January.
Mm-hmm. You have a topic or anything?
It's going to be on how to how to do your elevator speech, and I have an expert from
yes.
Los Angeles coming up. An elevator speech is, you get in the elevator and somebody says, "What do you do?" and you have 1 minute to get the point across. These are very well crafted statements that artists really have to dig deep to know how to come back out and say it just in one sentence, and it's a process getting there. So I'm very excited to have this gentleman come and speak with us.
Thank you. That's it.
And soon I'll be gathering a group of lawyers to talk about estate planning and artistic legacy issues, as well as tax issues for attorneys. It's not my field at all, but I can help gather people and moderate. We'll have a great group there. And I just wanted to close by thanking Pam for this and note that one aspect of our 5-year plan was to do precisely this, to serve as an informational and social hub for the community. And I do believe that Pam's extraordinary efforts in this regard are making that happen. So mazel tov to you.
And one more comment. I just got a new grandchild a couple hours ago. So I'm here, but
Is
I'm
his
out of
name
pencils,
Art?
so-
he's a couple blocks away.
Is his name Art by any chance?
No, it's Jake.
Ooh, cigars. Then.
Jake Tweena, yeah.
Well, congratulations. Public art. Shall we move on to yours now?
Me again?
Yeah. Well, this is your last hurrah. Commissioner Steiner's update.
Oh, we're on commissioner
On
updates
public.
already. Oh, great,
Yeah.
okay. Well, goodness, we've been very busy. We have done the mural jury. Carl, I have a question for you. Where are we on El Roblar?
I was going to bring that up during my comment.
Oh, okay, so I'll wait on that. I think I have no news other than the mural jury, which kept us somewhat busy, and that is it for me.
Thank you. Do you want to go now? Nigel?
Sure. Congratulations, Pam. That's got to be awesome. It was wonderful to see so many people here tonight. That's one of the things that when I started off on this commission, when I was chair, that we wanted to see. We're rolling in that direction. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes, I guess, in my comments. With regard to an update for me, I'll be talking to both Pam and Christine tomorrow to get a roundup of what happened at your presentation. I apologize I couldn't be there. I was out of town. And I'll be writing an article up for presentation to the Ojai Valley News via Carl. So you should have that on Friday. Hang on, tomorrow's Friday. You'll have that by Monday, and then we can get it in time for next week's Ojai Valley News press. So thanks very much for doing that.
Actually, I'd like to add to that. I would like to get a commitment of a date so you can put the next one in that article so people will know when the
Okay.
next one will be. So
Can you do that by Sunday?
Monday. By Sunday, I'll try.
Noon on Monday
Noon
is the
Monday.
new
Okay.
deadline.
Okay.
Because I think they need it over at the paper by about that time,
I'll see
don't
if I
they?
can get it tomorrow.
Okay, right on. That's my update.
Okay. Commission Health Technology Strategic Planning. I'll just sort of mention that I've been talking to council and tried to put in efforts to make their new commissioner selection and revoking criteria more realistic as it applies to the Arts Commission. I think we were successful in doing that. It wasn't about keeping our jobs because we live outside the city. It was about the fact that so much of what the is the art community in our valley is outside our kind of antiquated or arbitrary political city lines. We noticed there was only one jurist yesterday, 2 days ago at the mural jury that lived in the city, and 14 of the 64 Ojai studio artists stops were in the city, only 14 of the 64. And so I think the point was well made at the council meeting to have some flexibility with looking for both commissioners and our ad hoc committees that we might need as we move along. I'll be
Smitty, for those who didn't see the city council, would you just take 2 sentences to explain what happened and why that's beneficial for this commission?
Yeah. Well, there were several things that were approved, and we kind of liked them all, about it being a non-political position that would have a term of its own, about having the flexibility to have between 5 and 7 members as our work dictates, and have grandfathering of the current members for what that's worth. But the main point was, on the other commissions, historic planning, there seems to be more of a need to hold tight to that sort of, it's almost a fiscal thing inside the city limits. That's where the money is, and everything. But when you look at the arts community, we're a little bit different, that we're outside the arts community. So I'm not, the final wording is such, is that we will have flexibility. We will try to use artists or commissioners from within the city limits, but we will have the flexibility to look outside the city limits. So my final point was that Beto and Otto Heino could not have been commissioners under our current structure because they live in the East End and Upper Ojai.
I think you want to get the most qualified people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and we would want them. We would not want to. Another big important thing is that there will be it is now written into the ordinance or statutes that the chair of the commission will actually be part of the selection process, along with full vote from council. So that's.
And thanks to our city council representative for assisting in lifting that residency requirement. We think it's going to go a long way for us. So thank you.
Let me see.
Actually,
Future agenda.
I forgot something. Not very great for the communications guy to forget something, but nonetheless I did. This is just to inform what's going on. I have been in communication through an intermediary that's very close to me, who you can probably imagine who it is, my wife, with the Brzezinski family. Mika Brzezinski's family, her mother was a very famous artist who worked with natural wood, dead, huge pieces. Her mother died over the course of the past year, and they're starting now to place those pieces into art cities all over the country. And so I've been in touch with them to see if there's any interest in perhaps opening a conversation about depositing one of those wonderful pieces of natural art in Ojai. I'll keep you, Christine, informed as to any conversation with that. It's in the very, very early part of the communication yet. And as soon as anything becomes possible or known or any information needed, then I'll certainly be getting you on the phone and in Zoom calls and informing the rest of the commission as to how that works. But it'd be a massive boon to the city if we could have such an incredible sculptor with the connections to that family in Ojai as well, if the commission deems that it's appropriate and it fits into our vision.
On future agenda items, I'm just let's make sure, we're going to be kind of driven by our calendar now, and we'll make these grants so that we'll have an ad hoc committee that will bring it to us, and then it's ultimately the city council that approves those. We'll try to have those done around the first of the year. So I'm not ready to cancel that meeting that we have in December like we usually do, but we'll either have that or have a special meeting if need be. but I'll just hold off on that for now. Any other future agenda items we need to make sure we get on the, you know how to get them to me, and I
I
get them
have
to
one.
Carl. Yes.
I have one that I think is important, and it's fresh on the heels of my talk the other day. I've been troubled for some time that the city takes the copyright of the artists in agreements. We saw that, for example, in the El Roblar. Not only did they claim that they own the work when the city owns it, but then they had antiquated language that it was a work made for hire and that the copyright went to the copyright owner. There are a number of agreements, those ones for utility boxes, for example, that have overly grabby language for the city. So I'd like us to have a discussion about copyright, have a clear direction to our city attorney for what we expect, which is to follow the norms with regard to copyright. And I think we can put that, let's have that discussion on the agenda, and I'm pleased to do whatever is needed to sort of set out that information.
Yeah, maybe I could ask city liaison to see if you can gather what our contracts are that we use for for both our public art and then city collection,
Well,
paint
city-
boxes.
no,
Well,
not city collection.
we own
because-
that.
Correct, yeah. Just the public art, yeah, thanks.
Public. Good, thank you. Okay, liaison Carl. You've had a busy week, huh?
Still taking notes. Yeah, just a few things. So Tuesday night, we had a council meeting, and Chair West was present. And as he mentioned in his report, he shared some of the thoughts and feelings of the Arts Commission on the composition of the commission. So under discussion were all the commissions the city has. One other important item to note that has been impactful on other commissions, not this one, is on the residency requirement. Some have had it in place that you have to have a majority of residents, but beyond that, there's also been a requirement which comes into play if you have a vacancy or maybe someone not in attendance, that there has to be a majority of residents to form a quorum. So what that would mean, for example, is if we had two commissioners not present either because of a vacancy or they just weren't at the meeting, and one of the remaining three was not a resident, they couldn't vote. So that's been waived across all commissions. So the new look is they're all appointed by the council and they're all held in equal status. So that no longer remains as an item to have a quorum for a meeting. So wanted to point that out. It's
Thank you.
certainly been an issue on Parks and Recreation and why they've not been able to meet. Also the same night, Smitty actually presented twice. And I won't go into detail, but I would encourage everyone to go to the council meeting and just scroll through the YouTube and look for Smitty with something in his hands. It's really worth the 3-minute watch. It's one of the best presentations I've seen at a council meeting. It was a very intriguing and fascinating story, but definitely worth the watch for anyone that's watching at home to see that part of the meeting. On the El Roblar project, we will be convening the CAPA committee. It got paused. Obviously, we needed to appoint our planning commissioner, which we've done, and El Roblar was actually looking to potentially make a change, which they did not do. So they'll be bringing the application forward as submitted. So CAPA will be convening as well.
You have a sense of when?
Soon, because they
So-
wanna get in front of
So-
CAPA as soon as they possibly.
So early December, you
Yeah,
think?
probably
Because
December.
we've got to worry about travel schedules and
Mhm.
holiday schedules
Yeah.
for people.
So we'll send out a host of dates that work with El Roblar.
Great, thank
So
you.
that probably will be in December. And then just finally, same sentiment. I think during different budget processes between community group requests and youth group requests, doing this for 21 years now, tonight was one of the most impressive showings I've had of that many creative people in a room doing some really significant projects. That was really something else. So I applaud you all, because I know you have a lot of the connections that brought those folks forward. So looking forward to being involved with that program. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you.
But before you conclude, we know that you've been kicked upstairs, given the changes in the structure. You are going to stay with us as our liaison, yes?
For now, that's the plan.
Good.
That may change at some point in time. Just going back, when I had started and James Vega was still here, he put me in as the chair, I'm sorry, not the chair, but the staff liaison to the commission on a interim basis, looking to shift it. Mark Scott, when he was here, was fine with me staying there. While I'm in the acting city manager role, I'll still be doing it. When and if, I don't know how long that might be, a permanent city manager is hired, they may want to change that structure.
We might lobby that they not. I've been on for a very short time, and we've had Luis, and then we've had Robin, and then we had someone else. We had we had Weston, we had Kiara, we have you now. So please, we have made ourselves stabilized, and we would like. We're going to tell our liaison, who is shaking her head yes, that we want stability all around.
In short, we're banning you from leaving.
We're going to charge you guys to be our liaison. This is the funnest part of your job.
No, I definitely enjoy doing it, but
No, we understand.
having held the role of being a senior staff member at my prior agency, this staffing commissions is really a way to develop your city staff, and it was often a way our kind of mid-management staff, our management analyst, senior analyst, is a really great way to give them exposure. They may not be going to council meetings, presenting to council, but doing this Brown Act body with all the elements the city council would have is a great way to develop staff. So down the road, if I were to transition, I'm just trying to build up the team here.
No, we can go back to being the farm team if we have to.
Commissioner comments. Thank you, Carl. Pamela, you want to have anything?
Well, I just want to reiterate what a joy it was this evening to see community come together and see so much potential in this town. I'm speaking to you, Rachel. But really, this is what we need. This is what we need in the town. I know that we need to pay for roads. We've got a trillion things we need to do in town, but creating this network of energetic, good energy people is so important. So anyhow, and it's a pleasure to serve on a commission when things are going well.
Thank you. Commissioner Steiner, do you have some comments?
I have little to say other than to reiterate what Pam said, certainly. And this has been a busy Arts Commission week. So Tuesday we had the mural jury. Wednesday we had the enrichment seminar. Thursday we had the community come to present. So it's really quite exciting. And thanks to everyone who makes this happen.
Commissioner Nigel?
Thank you. I think what you've seen in front of you tonight, Rachel, I'm talking to you too, that the people sitting in front of you are a remarkable group of individuals that have this community's best interests in mind. You've seen with your own eyes how this commission with the people that sit in front of you have rallied this community to be involved in the arts in Ojai. Now, it's been wonderful to see, and in fact, I'm very proud of this commission, of every single one of you, Pam, Christine, Smitty, and it's an honor to sit here with you. Unfortunately, the council has not been proactive with regards to making sure that the health of this commission is as it should be. I don't understand those reasons myself. I did prepare quite a lengthy statement that I was going to read out tonight, but I'm not prepared at this point and been somewhat re-energized to bring the tenor of this meeting down, given its fantastic response and resonance in this community. There are a couple of things I want to address. So I shall read the bits of this that I think are valid for now, and I'm perfectly happy, Rachel, to sit down with you and anybody else on the City Council and read the rest of it right to your faces. If anyone was watching the City Council meeting on Tuesday, you'd have heard Chair West state that he's received notice of my intent to resign. This is accurate. I've no wish to resign. As a matter of fact, Chair West has refused to accept my resignation. I'm currently the longest serving member of the Arts Commission, 4 years, and as a member and as a chair for 2 years. I've been responsible for its transformation into a mostly professional, collegial, and functional body that serves this community and its mandate. I'm going to skip over the middle bit, head to the end. My hope is that immediate action will be taken to fulfill the Council's mandate and responsibility to this and other Ojai commissions. It isn't. I will continue to serve at the Chair's pleasure until such point he's had enough of me, and that will certainly continue through the grants process, at a minimum, seeing as I'm the one that's led the grants process over the last 4 years, and I have no wish to step aside during that process. I'll repeat again, I don't want to leave this commission. Seeing what happened here tonight is a manifestation of everything I've been working toward for the last 4.5 years. The Council knows exactly what needs to be done. Its inaction is incomprehensible, not just to me, but to other people in this community as well. I would urge you, Rachel, to go back to the City Council and lead the charge to get this commission where it needs to be, and to make sure it continues to be as healthy as you've seen tonight with the 4 people sitting in front of you. And with that, I'll conclude.
Thank you, Nigel. Just sort of building off Nigel's words, we have a plan and a budget and wonderful, I think, energy in the community moving forward. So I have been watching apprehensively, but the council meetings, we are, you're going through your new commissioner rules, we're going to need somewhere between 1 and 4 new commissioners. And we want to start that process now. We think there were some here in this room, or there's some that we saw this week that are willing to serve, and we can kind of ride this wave of positivity. If you guys, whatever, I don't know how final that, what you came up with there, but I'm ready to start tomorrow doing some interviews, so that we can put our plan into place. So with that, I will move on to our Council Liaison Report.
Yeah, so I want to start with just saying I agree with you all. Tonight was incredible. It was really inspirational. I wish that everyone who's watching could have felt the way this room felt. There was so much energy and passion, and people were sitting back here just being so friendly with one another, passing phone numbers. This is how, in my dreams, in my hopes for our city, this is how every meeting in this room would be. And so I'm encouraging anyone who's watching this that you take that message to heart too, and especially the people who are regulars here in this room. I also want to let you know that I appreciate so much the work that you're doing on the grants. Really, Nigel, just thank you for starting it. It's exciting to think about artists being able to have the funds necessary. I come from a family of artists. My dad's an artist and an art teacher. My brother's a professional sculptor. Like, I know how hard it is to be an artist and make a living. I mean, I grew up in that world. So I also heard the requests for additional funding, and Pam, you don't know this, but I'm a former fundraiser. I worked much of my career in fundraising, and I'm also a real sucker for the PBS fund drive and the NPR fund. So I really did hear you, and I'm going to do some talk with other council members, one other council member, and we'll do what we can to follow the Brown Act. But I'll work with staff to try to come up with solutions for how to bring more funds in for these kinds of projects, because you're absolutely right. Go ahead, yes.
Oh, I was wondering, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have a question for both of you. Could we do a private fundraising? Could the Arts Commission do something as a fundraising event to create money for the arts, or is that not our?
It's in our plan to.
I know it is, but
Yeah.
Generate more money, but
research that.
The details of how that would work would have to be ironed out because of we could work something out.
Can I throw a dinner party at my house?
Exactly. There are specific FPCC rules and about fundraising for agencies and for cities, but we can talk about that. I'd be happy to sit down and talk with you. I could put my fundraising hat on and I could put my city council hat on, and we could come up with some ideas. And then also you both. I wanted to tell you about the restructuring of the commissions that we did, and so you did a great job of summarizing that we did on Tuesday. We've been through several discussions, public discussions, and about this and about how to structure the commissions, and so we finally are moving forward with an ordinance that is coming back for a final read, and then it'll be done and we can start interviewing. So, yes, and
I
yeah, go ahead.
testified at that city council, essentially saying that the possibility of the restructuring was not anything that any of us would have signed on for, nor did we expect it, nor did we agree with it.
Mhm.
So thank you for righting that ship.
Absolutely. It really was important to me, thinking about all of the artists that we have in the Valley, and also some of the economic issues that artists have with mostly, like I said, I grew up in a family of artists, and if you are renting and you're displaced and you have to live outside of the city and you have the expertise that we so greatly value, it was important to me to end where we ended. So yeah, and thank you, Smitty, for
Can you?
speaking
Is
to
it
that.
ended? Is it?
Like
if we need a commissioner tomorrow, or need to get rid of a
Mhm.
commissioner tomorrow, I mean, are
Yeah.
the processes in place as you discussed?
We're coming back for one final read to approve it. And so that is that happening at the next meeting, or is that happening
You'll come
in?
back for a second reading, then we'll advertise them, but absolutely, if there's people that you
Mhm.
know now, I would start promoting it.
Mm-hmm. Anyone can submit an application for any one of the commissions. We have openings in all commissions right now. So this is a great time for anyone who wants to become involved to put yourself out there and to submit an application. So yes, so we will be making sure that your commission is functioning in the best way possible.
And there will be two. No, wait. So, how do we involve the council?
Well, there's a few steps that need to happen first.
Yes.
So the council's not, with the current ordinances drafted, this and go back for the second reading. I don't foresee any changes, but the numbers aren't set in stone. So each of these needs to go to the respective commission for them to discuss. Our range is 5 to 7. Do we want 5? Do we want 7? So that'll be coming back to the commission to make that determination. And then once we have that understanding, we would open the.
I think, as I understand that, it's driven by the commission to the council and not the other way around.
Yes. So a little bit of both. When we initially asked the commissions whether they wanted to be 5 or 7, we heard from some commissions that, like HPC, for example, definitely wanted 7. Planning wanted to stay at 5. You all were more flexible. You didn't want to commit. And so your commission is unique in that you have the option to go to 7 or to go to 5. The rest of the commissions are going to be set in stone. So Parks and Rec is 7, Planning is 5, and HPC is 7. So you can go to 7 or you could be at 5.
And we're unique as well because the residents.
Correct. Correct, yes. All the others, they're not for a quorum, but they are required to have a majority.
You'll be glad
Yeah.
you did that.
Yeah. So we'll be moving as soon as that. I don't anticipate any changes or any revisions. We've been over this a lot this year, so I think it's a good policy.
Just to confirm, as I understand it, the change to this commission is driven by this commission, not driven by the council.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
if we want to move to
Yes.
7, then it would be a
Yes.
decision of this commission, whomever may be on it,
Correct.
to make that change, and then they would approach the council. The council would then consider the request and take the appropriate
Yes.
action, right?
Yes.
Whenever you're finished, I've got another comment to make as well.
Okay. All right. I think that's all. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make certain that, because I know that this has been an issue for all of us, that you clearly heard what Nigel had to say.
I did, yes. I heard Nigel, and I will, actually, Carl, I will reach out to you in the next, 24 hours, and we can set up a time to talk. And I would love to sit down and talk with you as well. I hear you, and this is something that we've been talking about and working on, so, yes.
Well, talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know about working on.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a conversation for another
Yeah,
time. But
yeah,
thank
yeah.
you for opening that conversation. I appreciate it.
Yes.
So it's a question and a comment in one, really, unrelated to that, so don't worry. Last year, at the end of the financial year, we sent money back to the City Council with a strong request that those funds be used to resolve the issue with the stone that's the centrepiece of Clough Vista Park. Despite multiple requests for the city to do something with that money, we've never received a response as to whether that money is going to be used for its intended purpose or its requested purposes, or whether it just disappeared into the void of Ojai's finances. Christine, do you remember how much that was? It was about
It was $7,500, I think.
$7,500. Either way, it was enough to resolve the situation with that particular rock, with the Chumash writing upon it for good at Clough Vista Park. Is it $7,500?
Nigel, it has been fixed.
Oh, it has been fixed?
And the signage has been fixed too.
Oh, I need to get myself up there now.
Okay.
When was
All's well
that
that
done?
ends well. Let's let poor Rachel
Okay.
go.
Yeah. All right, so disregard everything I said. Strike that from the record.
Fast work, Rachel.
I'm going up there right now.
All right, so thank you all again. Great meeting tonight.
Right, thank you.
Rachel. Okay. I'm not even going to ask. I'm just going to adjourn. Thank you all so much until December 21st, or you hear differently. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.